Well, sometimes circumstances force you to do something that you've been thinking about and maybe putting off for a while. And sometimes life just forces your hand, and that's what's happened with me with this tank behind me here, this 55-gallon home of my red tear. Let me tell you what's going on. I was working on the tanks when I noticed this up here. The center brace has completely separated from the front panel. I have a brace that could probably push that back, but I don't think it's something repairable without ripping off and replacing the entire top brace on this aquarium. And I know they sell that, but it's not something really I want to go through. And the aquarium technically is still under warranty. Aquarium will warranty these tanks for 5 years. I've written to them. They want the number off of a sticker at the bottom of the tank, so I'm going to have to empty this tank and get to the bottom of it. And this is, of course, the home of my red tear, who's sticking his nose out right there. So what I'm going to do is try him one more time in this 210-gallon, which is relatively peaceful at the moment, which makes me reluctant, of course, to change anything. But I think if I bring him over and drop him in, and this time I don't bring that big cave, creating something for the fish to fight over, which is what happened the last time. The Salvini became very, very protective and tried to claim that big cave, and it created quite the conflict with everybody, not just with the red tear. There she is back here, and this is her cave right there. I'm not even sure she even fits in that anymore. But what I decided to do was to, at the same time I bring over the red tear, bring over some of the fish out of this tank, in particular some of the two geos, which are a decent size. Of course, they'll probably look small in the 210, but they're a decent size. Perhaps bring over the most aggressive electric blue Ochart. Maybe the red shoulder Severum, which is in the back there. He is the far more aggressive of the two Severums. Maybe leave the gold one here. I've found from my experience the gold Severums have been pretty mellow. I don't know if that's been your experience as well. I'm not sure if I want to bring over the Hecali. The Hecali has been traditionally very calm, so up until now. So I might just leave him in here, but bring over the darker of the two Ocharts. He's the more aggressive one. Tends to chase this one around a lot. The red shoulder Severum chases around the gold Severum. At the same time, I can finally bring over the albino Ocharts, bring all 5 of those albino Ocharts and put them into the 90-gallon. So there'll be several moves taking place. As a plan B, I've taken the little fry out of this 29-gallon, that little surprise fry, and I put him into this little 5-gallon bow front acrylic. Not even sure if you can make him out in there. Just a teeny little guy that somehow just appeared out of nowhere. If you're placing bets, the consensus is that it's a rainbow. These rainbows then will go over to the 55-gallon planted. So a lot of moves will be taking place in here. So I'm going to go ahead and get on it, and then I'll show you how they all look in their new home. Well, I was not aware that Ocharts will bury themselves like a sand diver. Look at this guy. He went completely underneath the sand the second I went for him. All right, let me dig him out. Well, this tank looks a little bare now. I did take the opportunity to go ahead and redecorate a little bit, replace the plant that was looking a little brown, move the rocks and wood around a little bit. So for these fish, it's like a brand new tank. Left the rainbows, the AC Hecali, the more placid of the two electric blue Ocharts was left back. I was thinking about moving that SAE possibly to the 210, but he just looks like he could fit too easily in the mouth of an Oscar. So maybe not, at least not for now. So give this tank a chance to clear up. I didn't bring over the Hecali because there's just too many good hiding spots in this aquarium. So to catch them with the least amount of trauma, I'm going to have to lower the water level and remove some of the decor. Otherwise, it's just going to be a mess. It's just going to be a battle. So I'll come back for them probably at my next water change. And of course, I didn't bring over the rainbows either. So they'll live in here a little bit longer. I have a special project in mind for this aquarium. The rainbows can stay in here or leave. It will not make any difference with that project, but maybe you can guess. But I'm gonna put something in here while it's small and then grow it out. Can you guess? It's gonna be between 5 and 10 of them. And then after they get bigger, I'll be moving them to another tank. There's the eel hanging out in the heater back there. Not sure if you can make them out. Maybe I can go in a little bit. I'm probably going to remove that heater because I don't want him in there. I'm afraid he might get burned. Now that things have warmed up, I think this heater here can handle the entire tank. It should be able to. So how are the new fish doing in the 210? Let's take a look. The Salvini is certainly asserting herself, just making sure everyone stays away from both caves. But I noticed that her chases are only up to the point where the fish gets away from the cave. There's the Ochart, keeping his distance from the Jack Dempsey. Geo, both Geos. Some of you are going to look at this tank and go, wait a minute, that's not appropriate for a Geo, because Geos like to be in sand, and this is river rock pebbles. But if you look at where the Geo's hanging out back there, right below these pebbles, and you can sort of make it out there between the pebbles there, between the stones, you can see there is a very, very deep amount of sand just below the surface. So I am positive that the Geos are going to get in there and work on that and be able to sift to their heart's delight. So don't worry about them. They've got lots of sand to sift through. As a matter of fact, there's probably more sand in here than there is river rock. I can show you from the side here. You see that? There's a base of about 3 to 4 inches of sand just below the pebbles. So I'm sure that those Geos are going to get to it without any problem. On. Firemouth protecting his territory just to the left of the rocks there. And there's the red tear. Stay away from that cave, buddy. So I'll be keeping an eye on this very closely. Also keeping an eye on their fins and leaving the other tanks in a condition so that if I have to, I can move everybody back and call the experiment a failure. I'm going to turn the lights off so they can all kind of calm down a little bit. And then we'll go from there. The only fish that seems at all worked up, he actually looks better in this tank, that red shoulder. Anyway, the only fish that seem a little worked up is the Salvini. She's the most territorial in the aquarium. It's so funny, these two are always battling, but now that they're in here, they're kind of hanging out together. You can try and eat the blue Ochart. Be a mouthful. He's a pretty fish. Had a lot of attitude in the 90. I suspect he won't have much attitude in this tank. Okay, stay tuned for updates. I'll be moving those rainbows over to the 55 and taking those albino Ocharts, putting them in the 90. And then I'll be getting some special fish that I'll be growing out in that 29 gallon. So stay tuned for that. Okay, nobody's dead yet. I'll keep a close eye on them. And thank you so much for tuning in. And were you able to guess what I'm going to put in that 29 gallon? Comment below, let me know what you think. And we'll talk about this and a whole lot more at the Saturday Cichlids and Coffee live stream. Try and show up if you can. A lot of fun, great group of fish keepers. That's almost every Saturday at 11 a.m. Central. I say almost because sometimes I do take some time off. And that's it for me. Thank you, my friends. If you like the channel, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Hit that bell. Let YouTube know something good's going on, so they send more viewers this way. All right, and if you'd like to support the channel further, consider becoming a Garage Gang member. This is a Garage Gang member, a Patreon supporter. It starts for as little as $3 a month and helps, as I like to say, in more ways than you know. Thank you, my friends. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye. If you'd like to hear my best tips on keeping tropical fish, check out this playlist up here. It has a lot of videos to choose from. And if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, just go ahead and hit me in the mug down here. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.